Welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name's Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are Good Rookie.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show. Yep. What's going on? We're your hosts coming to you from Toronto, Canada, the 6th. And we bring to you the hottest topics in sports and culture. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friend them. Okay. So a quick topic in and out, Faheem, as we normally do. I have a question for you, Faheem. Did you know that there's an NBA player right now, a 6-time All-Star, that has written over 60 songs? And not just any song. He's going to be launching or producing or
I know.
creating an upcoming country album.
I know.
Wow.
I heard
You
about
got to
this.
guess who this is. There's only one player that
Only Jimmy
most
Butler.
random.
Only
Yes.
Jimmy Butler is wild enough to make that
Jimmy
happen.
Butler. Like, I
Right.
feel like he's the only player, I swear to you, that can like morph, right? Like into anything. I was so shocked when I read this a week ago that Jimmy Butler, y'all, per Claire MPLS, is going to be dropping a country album. Now, Faheem, will you be like are you gonna play the track? What's up? Are you gonna give him a chance or okay?
Well, you know what? Just because it's Jimmy Butler, I'll give it a listen, like a song or whatever. But not really my genre. Not to hate on country music. Those I like it. I get it. But yeah. I'd be interested though. I mean, Jimmy, he went from coffee, country music. He's a man of many talents. Probably the NBA's most interesting man like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if Andre 3000 can create an album with flutes music, Jimmy Butler can, do a country album, and I'm definitely gonna support it. Definitely play it at least once. Country music, like there's so much Black history in country music. My mom used to play country music when I was a kid,
Oh, really?
so I do like the genre. I don't follow it. I don't play country music like every day. You know what I'm saying? But some of them songs slap up.
Yeah,
Some of them
and
songs
also
slap
country.
up. So
Yeah, much like music's always evolving. So, for instance, the hip hop that we would have listened to when we were younger is different than the hip hop that kids listen to now.
yeah.
Pretty sure country music's very much the same. Where your mother's country music's probably maybe a little bit different than
Old
today's country
school.
music. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting
she
to
play a lot
see.
of gospel
Oh,
country music. Y'all know about
right.
them ting. Y'all, if y'all know what them ting, you know about them ting.
All right. Yeah, big news this week. Like huge. I didn't see it coming. A lot of people probably didn't. Doc Rivers has now just taken over the reins in Milwaukee. He's a new coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. He agreed to a 3-year, $42 million contract. Nelly J, like what you got on Doc?
I'm no issue with Doc. I mean,
Mhm,
they asked him for the job. They went after him. He said
mhm.
yes. I'm no issue with Doc. My issue is with that front office. I feel like they're lost. They're so lost. My issues with whoever's running that front office, I just don't know if they know what they're doing. Because it seems like they hired a coach, then they're like, oh man, actually, our window's really small. We can't, Dame is this and Giannis is this. We have a shorter window now. Well, why hire a coach and then do a blockbuster trade to bring in another huge piece 3 months later and expect that coach to now work on your timeline when it's his first time as a head coach? It's just really um it's not like I feel like the expectation that they had didn't make sense to have uh boy our fellow Raptor coach over there, Griffin. So it just seems like they had a timeline. They were cool what they had. They hired someone defensive minded. We have a defensive team. Great. Ooh, we trade away trade away some of our defensive pieces, bring in a big offensive player. Now we have a shorter window because that offensive player is getting old. It's just like it just seems like their priorities changed, their timeline changed, expectations changed. And he was still doing really well for a first time coach coming into a situation where this team just won a couple of years ago. They know what they want to do. A lot of the players think they're coaches, which is another problem I have. So let's see, right? I think Doc going in there, I do think the players should respect him, but I also think Doc hopefully will do a better job at selling. Because I think as a coach, you're a salesperson for him. You got to sell your philosophy. You got to sell to these players, something in the locker room, and maybe Griffin couldn't sell it to these group of guys, but I still think he can still coach. I just think maybe this wasn't the right fit for him, a la Darko. But I mean, I don't want to go to Darko situation, but maybe there's something where just didn't fit, and I feel bad because I don't want this thing saying, oh, no one liked him, and he's a bad coach. Like I don't think that was the situation. I think timelines change, expectations changed. They looked at their new coach. Shoot, we can get there eventually, but not as quick as we want. And I think that was the situation in my opinion. But yeah, Doc in the job, man. Like we've seen Doc in the postseason. Doc couldn't handle Embiid, James Harden. Last year, we saw those guys literally just walk off the court like they didn't want to play for him anymore. So my thing is that we saw players literally not want to play for him in the postseason last year, and you hired that same coach in Milwaukee. I don't know. We're gonna
Yeah.
see. We're gonna
Hmm.
see. We're gonna see.
So
That front office is a hot mess. And Faheem, FYI, they're playing three coaches right now on their payroll. If I was the owner, I'd be pissed as hell. I'm paying three people for the same job. Three people. But Bud's contract hasn't expired yet. He's still on the payroll.
uh,
Griffin still on the payroll, and now you're playing Doc. Waste of money.
so
Not just like millions of dollars you're wasting because y'all can't like hire a proper coach.
it's weird that they're in this situation. A lot of teams might have the coach, but not the personnel to make it happen. Um, this team has the personnel, and they've had many rotation, like you mentioned. I did not even know that Budenholzer was still in the payroll.
Yes.
The fact that uh, they have a coaching problem is something that you can't figure out why that would happen. With the personnel that they have, they should be able to, and they have veterans like Giannis. Come on, he's a veteran. Dame's a
Mm-hmm.
veteran.
Brooke Lopez,
Lopez,
Portis,
veteran.
all
That,
veterans.
that
Mm-hmm.
that entire team is a bunch of veterans. So at
They're
this
the
point, it
oldest
should
team. I
be
think they're the oldest team in the league too, in the
right.
NBA.
So it should be at this point, it should be a matter of, you know what, let's get a coach or you get somebody in there who can just uh, give them, empower them to do what they need to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of speaking about Milwaukee as a whole, what they have a lot, they're going in, come on, they're second in the East. So they have a good team, but it kind of makes you think, here
And
we are,
second
I
in the
think,
NBA. They're second in the NBA too.
okay, second in the
Second in
NBA.
the
So,
NBA. They fired two coaches in the last 12 months.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, now with Doc, real quick on Doc, do you think, remember, Doc's, known as a 3-1 situation. Um, this is a stacked team. We know, okay, the Clippers was kind of, you consider a stacked team, but I think this team would remind a lot of people of what he had back in Boston with the Garnett,
Yeah,
Pierce, and
Philly,
Allen, right?
Philly was stacked. Last season was stacked.
Right,
He's had
right,
stacked teams. That's what I'm saying. The issue not
right,
him having
right,
the personnel. My
right,
issue with
right.
Doc is that, like, and again, a lot of people like think he's top 15. He is, but I just think my thing with Doc is that he won once. I get it, respect, but that team was a super team. Okay, so and every great coach has super teams. Steve Kerr has them, whatever. I'm looking at like, can he repeat that in multiple organizations? He's proven that he can help teams make it to the playoffs. He's proven that players like him. He's a players coach. He played, so I get that. But when it comes to coaching, Fahim, if they play Miami, he'll be outcoached by Pat Riley, a la, you know what I'm saying? Certain teams, just certain coaches just have him. If he plays fully with Nick Nurse, I think that's a problem. Like like Milwaukee is, again, doing all this firing. Milwaukee is in the same spot they were last year. They're contenders still. They're not better than Boston. They're not better. Like they're not like, oh my god, they're gonna definitely win. Like no one has that. So my thing, firing Griffin, hiring Dog doesn't change anything for me, to be
Mhm.
honest, right? Because
Um,
like a lot for him, do you think coaches are scared to coach against a play against Doc? If I'm a coach, I'm like, yeah, I'm excited because the
so
last
I'm gonna,
years.
I'm gonna present maybe a little bit something different. So
Okay.
this is Doc. You know, As a player, successful.
Yes.
I think he might have been an all-star at the Hawk with the Hawks with Dominique. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Maybe he might have. Okay, so
Mhm.
he's reached a high level as a player. As a coach, we know what he's done. Early out, coach of the year with Orlando. Not much to work with, and that's what put him on the map. Got his championship with the Celtics, and since then it's just been drought after drought after drought with all this talent. Eventually, sometimes with teams, you're knocking on the door, you're knocking on the door, you're knocking on the door, and eventually, sometimes you get in the door. I'm just wondering if you're looking at the big picture of Doc Rivers and his career and his legacy.
Mhm.
There's only, I think, so many times that you can really knock on the door and be a Mr. 3-1, Mr. 3-1. Eventually, you got to hit. I'm just wondering if having Doc on Milwaukee right now with Giannis and company,
Mhm.
if this might be his year to hit. And if he
Yes.
does hit, then we're
Mhm.
talking about his like he's pretty much solidified his legacy. Because imagine this: what kind of story would that be for someone to be Mr. 3-1 for how many years with how much talent, and
Mhm.
eventually get that ring? If he does make it happen for his
Mhm.
legacy, it just
Mhm.
I think adds another layer to the Doc Rivers story.
Yeah, I mean, this team has the 22nd worst defense in the league. Like, this is
Mm,
not the team to Fred's legacy. Like,
right.
all the other teams he had, like, Boston had great defense. You know what I'm saying? Philly was even a top 10 defense last year. This is not a good team. Like, looking at the roster, they're top heavy, their bench is trash. In the playoffs, your bench matters. You can't play Giannis 45 minutes every game. You can't play These guys are old, right? Like, these guys definitely need at least two or three guys that are young, strong. Jay Crowder, okay. Like, to me, this is not a good team. Like, this team is not good. Like, they're a great
But
offensive team, but in the defense, when the ball slows down, you gotta play defense. And
okay,
that's
but
why teams like Miami, teams like Denver, certain teams just play better because they have that defensive down. Now, my thing with Doc is that Doc will have to make them a top 10 team in defense from what's today's date, from end of January to the playoffs. He has to find some way, or they have to make trades now. My issue with Milwaukee for him, and this is before Doc even got there, it wasn't even the coach, it was their defense. You watch them, it's like they don't care to play defense. And I don't think a coach should make you or make you want to. That should be you. Like, you should like, this guy ain't gonna beat me. I don't give a damn. You're not gonna beat me. Give me all that. Luke Dortz, David Mitchell, those guys when they play defense, it's not about the coach making them want to play. It's because they don't want to lose. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So at the end of the day, Milwaukee Bucks for me, this is like a scapegoating. Doc will come in and do, I think, the same thing that Griffin could have done. But I think what Doc is better at maybe is personal relationships because he has that. He builds great rapport. A lot of people like Doc Rivers. Like, that's something you cannot deny. Like, people
So
like him, they respect him. Like, that to me shows a lot about a coach because again, players do like him. So I think that's where he beats Adrian Griffin on. Not X's and O's, but on the fact that maybe he's better at convincing, influencing, making guys want to play or do certain things. So we're going to see if Doc can do that. Because again, my biggest issue with Milwaukee isn't a coach. Like, I
mm,
think, you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
yes, even last year watching Miami, when they beat them, they got outplayed. Miami just literally bullied them on the court. That wasn't a
Mm.
coaching thing. That's just which team had more grit, which team wanted more
But
effort. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
so if we're
So,
if
mhm,
if we're talking about a team with defense, right? And like you mentioned, uh, one of the worst defensive rated team. Um, and yes,
yeah.
we know in the playoffs, defense wins games. I get it, but this is not the playoffs regular season, and this is a team that,
Mhm.
as much as defense is important in basketball, still has found themselves with a coach which was maybe inadequate, being the second best team in the league. You know, so
No, no, but that's the thing though. Like, that's just the numbers. If you watch Milwaukee Bucks, like, you gotta
mhm,
watch these guys play for him. They don't
mhm,
look good. I'm not talking about like the number. Like, when you watch them
yeah,
play, their defense is inadequate. When Giannis comes off the floor, when Brook comes off the floor, it's not good. And my thing is that they can't play 45 minutes plus in the playoffs. That's my concern. It's not really that they're not a second top team in the East. Yeah, of course they are, right? Because I think their offense is so good. They're
mhm,
literally Faheem, they've been literally outscoring teams. That's all they're doing is outscoring teams. But we know when the ball is slower and you're playing better quality, like the Knicks, like other teams that are still Boston, outscoring is that they can score too. And I just
right.
think that who can make the most stops, I'm gonna give it to Boston. And that's
Okay.
who they have to beat. So looking at Boston, they have a good team, 1 through 7, 8, deep, deep. When
Mhm.
Tatum was out, nothing changed. When Jalen Brown was out, nothing. KP out, nothing changed. They were beating everyone, right? Like they literally just
Mhm.
lost their first home game in the last couple year to Denver. Like that's
So
the team they
that
have to beat for him. So my thing isn't like them making the playoffs. That's obvious. My thing is that can they beat Boston? Can they beat Miami? Can they beat the
mhm.
top teams?
Do they
And
have
those top
right?
teams for him can have the same offense as them, the best. But so the difference to me will be defense because in Miami that was proven. In
Uh-huh.
Miami, both teams had the similar offenses. But what was
So
the factor for that win? The defensive stops that was made in overtime when Milwaukee and Miami in that last game. So that's what I'm
mhm.
saying. Like to me, they had a Drew Holiday, they had a Grayson Allen, that guys who are known to be wing defenders or who's like gets profile just defense. They're not known
Mhm.
to be like great offensive play. Like they're good, but Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday to me were defenders.
Mhm.
They're there to play defense. Those guys are gone now. Who can replace that? That's why for me, if I'm Milwaukee, I'm looking at picking up a defensive minded player. That's what I'm doing right
Right.
now between now and February 8th. That's what I'm
Which
saying.
is
Like Doc is good, but to me, their issue's not coaching. Their issue's always been defense. Clearly, it's not because their coaching was
mhm.
apparently not too good. The second in
Mhm.
the freaking East, and then the NBA. So coaching
Right.
wasn't a problem. The issue
Right.
is going to be their defense.
Yes. And with the defense, keep in mind that so they still get Doc, still at the trade deadline, they could pick up somebody and make a move to get someone defensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we're back to square one, where if they get someone who's defensive, I'm
That's
pretty
what they
sure
need.
them being 20th in the league, they know that they need someone. They need to make an adjustment on defensive end. They know this already. They brought in Doc. If they make an adjustment on defensive end, then we're back to square one with Doc has a chance of winning another championship. I
I,
for
I
some reason
mean,
this.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Fahim, I don't know about you, but they ain't, if Porzingis is healthy, they're not beating Boston.
Mhm.
Fahim,
Oh,
they're playing Fahim, they're playing their ex, Drew Holiday.
mhm.
Like really?
Well,
Imagine Drew Holiday is playing against Damian Lillard. Like, come on, this is funny to me, man. Like, I just think that if I'm Drew Holiday, I want to play Milwaukee. Like, Lord, please give me
mhm.
Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. I
Mhm.
think it's going to be epic. I think Boston beat them already before when Milton was out. Right? That's happened. Giannis wasn't enough to beat them. They're older now. Middleton is hella injury prone. It's interesting, right? But I think if I'm Boston, I want to play Milwaukee. Like, please give me.
Mhm.
I want, you know what I'm saying? But Drew Holiday is on the other side. And you think he's gonna be chilling? Nah, he's gonna be wanting blood. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Mhm. Okay. Well, I mean, we got a lot of
We'll
time.
see. But big up to Doc though. Like I think
Mhm.
him stepping in when the team needed him, that's just he's a nice guy. So that's why I feel like I'm not be for Doc. I think Doc is doing what he's doing what's best. He wants to help out the team, whatever. I just think Milwaukee is in a dumpster fire. And Faheem, I don't know what team has. I mean, has a team ever won when they fired a coach midway and won that year? Has that happened? They said David Blatt,
I,
like when he was
yeah,
fired
that's what, I don't know
midway.
if I can't remember if they won the year that they fired Blatt, but they had
I
LeBron.
think I think they may have won that year, when
Yeah.
like I'm trying to think. Let
I
me
don't know.
see. Yeah, so they did win that year because
Yeah.
David Blatt was fired in 2016, right? And
Mhm.
that's the year that the Cavs won. No,
Yeah.
Yeah. So David Blatt was fired,
Not a Doc
and they
Rivers
had
fan.
and the record was 30-11. But
Mm.
I mean, he coached a lot longer than Griffin, but
Mhm.
as a head coach. But he was fired, and the Cavs won the championship in 2016, right?
Okay. I just want to say I'm not a Doc Rivers fan at all.
Oh, you're not? Oh,
But
I thought you
no,
were. Okay.
no, I'm not a fan of a Doc. But I'm a sucker for a good story, and I think if he were to win this year, I wouldn't be mad. And I'm not. I'm
Oh,
low
no one
key
be
kind of.
mad.
I'm
I
low
think I
key
would be
kind of
mad at
rooting.
him.
Well, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying just
Yeah.
me. I wouldn't. Uh, Not a fan, but I'm kind of low key rooting for him. I think that would be great for his legacy. I think he deserves for what he's put into the game, the many decades he's put in the game. That would be a nice icing on the cake for Doc. So, I mean, if obviously if the Raptors can't make some miraculous run, um, maybe I'll throw in
Raptors miraculous. Look at this
some
guy.
love for
Such
the
a
Bucks on the run. Get Doc that chip.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like this year, literally, there's no favorites. Every team, I think the top teams are the top teams.
Hmm.
Um, Milwaukee is the same as last year. They just have to like beat Miami
Hmm.
or pray they don't see Miami. Because I think if they
Right.
see Miami again, I think Miami wins in 7 games. Butler sees, you know what I'm saying? Like certain teams are just their Achilles heel. You know what I'm saying? So we're
Right.
gonna see. We're gonna see.
All right.
But good luck to everyone, man. I ain't got no favorites. But I want my Canadians to do well. So Jamal Murray, my SGA, all of them.
All right. AJ, let's go to for the culture.
For the culture, we like to highlight individuals for the culture. And today we get to highlight someone who, Faheem, I didn't even know was paving waves. Like, I'm telling you, Maulana Dotch. If you don't know her name, you're going to know her name after today. So Maulana Dotch, okay, she is the first African American woman PGA member to lead as a golf facility general manager. So PGA announced this. First of all, Faheem, I didn't even know we had any black female PGA members like that, and black women like running an entire golf like that whole golf world, Faheem, is very unique, very niche, right? Like, and in our community, you don't really see a lot of people pursuing careers or going into that type of lane, right? But Milana Dodge definitely has done that, becoming the first Black woman as a PJ member to serve as a GM for a golf facility. This was announced for him. And so she got this in 2021, right? So we are about 3 years late. I'm sorry, Milana. We were aware, okay? But she's from Texas, okay? Actually from Irving, Texas. And she earned her membership in 2010. She was also the second ever African woman to become a PGA member at that time, following the trailblazer of Renee Powell, who was the first PGA Hall of Famer. And Renee Powell is a Hall of Famer right now, PGA Hall of Famer. So she spent 12 years at Cedar Crest Golf Course in Dallas and served as the PGA head professional since 2014. So the fact that she was selected as a lead in 2018 by the association, and now she's literally the GM for him. I just think the story is so not only inspirational, but it's like, yeah, there are black women and black leading and I think in golf, and I don't think we give it enough recognition or people are even aware. So that's why I want to take the time for him to really big up Maulana Dodge because she is for the culture. Any thoughts on this, Faheem?
Yeah, I was like much like you. I wasn't aware. I'm just interested to see what kind of effect that's going to have maybe for others coming in. Uh, Hopefully the story, like I guess we're kind of a little late on this. It's not something that's not really maybe a highly publicized position as being a golf general manager for the PGA, though it's very prestigious. So I think we as a whole need to do a better job of making sure that these stories get out there and maybe it's inspiring others who are in golf and looking for maybe other avenues of maybe if they can't be a professional golfer, perhaps they can get on the business side of golf. So that's one. I'd be interested to also see. Uh, I mean, we'll never know, but I wonder what kind of golfer she is, if like her herself, if she being around the course,
Oh, she
if
probably
she,
definitely goes. I'm
yeah,
not sure what
prob-
her
yeah,
numbers
what
are,
her
but yeah.
the scratches, whatever, yeah. But yeah, definitely that's definitely a for the culture move, and yeah, I guess we'll have to see what comes of it because it's great that this has happened. I just want to see what kind of you know
Well,
what
well,
follows.
one thing she's done, which I think is really dope, she had a girls golf community day where they
There,
allowed
nice.
girls from the community to come and golf at the driving range and learn
Mm,
golf.
right.
And I think that's how she impacts, right? For her coming from Irving, Texas, understanding that it's not a big sport in her community, that's how you give back. So I'm sure she'll be doing other events like this to impact, to help, to teach, to educate. But no, I definitely think, we don't see a lot of people in our community, Fahim, say, you know what, I'm gonna take my kids to the golf course and just go to driving range, or you know what I mean? Like we don't do
Mhm.
that. And it's because we don't have anyone in there. I think Tiger Woods definitely was a huge influence. I know a lot of people in our community actually started golfing because of Tiger Woods, right? Which is huge. So big up to Tiger Woods for, for his part. But I just think that saying that, you know what, yes, maybe I cannot golf or go to actually be a golfer, but hey, I can probably run a golf course. Maybe I can help in a golf course. Maybe I can influence other people to go in a golf course. Like I can do those things because they make a lot of money for you. I think we had the top 5 or 10 of all time, and I think top I think two of the top five are golfers. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They've been
Hmm.
making a lot of money. So I think it's a lane that we definitely should get into. And, you know, it's all about diversifying too, like giving kids the opportunity to try all these sports. I think in the Black community, we always do a lot of team sports, not too many individual, like tennis, golf. These sports are available and there are things that you can do and see if your kid would enjoy it, right? So yeah, I'm all for it. Big up to you. Thank you for being for the culture and Maulana Dotch. We're just giving your flowers the period later, but you know, big up to you.
Right. It's
Big up.
better late than never. And I think we need to keep that pressure. And that's what I was talking about, what's going to follow. So appreciate you for highlighting that and letting us know that, because one thing to have someone in a position and not be able to capitalize on that position, she clearly has with that initiative that she started. So she's definitely for the culture. Appreciate that one, Nelly J.
Absolutely.
All right, Nelly J. Why don't we go ahead and close this out with our last segment? That's absurd.
That's absurd. Fahim, what was absurd this week? What was absurd?
Portland Trailblazers center DeAndre Ayton. He missed a game due to icy road conditions in his neighborhood. Absurd.
But is it absurd though, Fahim? Because I feel like we live in Toronto, Canada, and we know, Fahim, like we have the infrastructure, we have like literally everything in place. And when we had that ice storm, we couldn't go anywhere. Like I remember literally like being in darkness for like a week or something like that. My whole building was off. There was no heat, nothing. Like that was nuts. I also found out that with Aiton, when the ice storm came, well, when the ice storm came, it was about an inch or two of ice, nuts. And then he called the team. The team actually sent someone to go get him. They couldn't even get to him. That's how bad the roads were in neighborhoods. So, but I think it's absurd because like, yo, we've never heard anyone not like we hear about people can go to games because of injury,
Of
maybe
course, of
someone passed
course.
away,
Right.
but
Yeah.
ice, lot of mercy. Mother Nature said, Aiton, you're going to no game today.
Right. No, and it's Portland. It was a home game, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So, which is weird because I'm pretty sure the ice conditions in Portland didn't just happen within the hour. Like I'm pretty sure they had a leeway of a certain amount of time to know.
yeah,
So,
exactly. I think he called from early in the day. That wasn't. I think he called early because what had happened, from what I was told, he gave the team enough hours, to say, hey, I can't like he tried to leave, couldn't.
mhm.
So you go back in your house, right? And again, for those, if you've ever not driven on ice, don't do it. Okay, them
Right,
ice
right,
does not play. Okay,
right.
ice. There's no law of anything. It just whatever happens happens. But the fact, so that's why they actually got someone to go get him. No problem. We'll come get you, thinking that they can figure it out. Nope, the ice said no. So
So,
he couldn't leave. No one can get him. And do you want to send a helicopter during an ice storm? No.
right,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Is that really like it's a basketball game? He can miss one. You know what I'm saying?
right,
What I thought
right,
was absurd for him was people like I think because Aiton, what he did against Denver, it's Jokic, y'all.
yeah.
He was afraid, and the coaching, whatever. But I think what happened with him last year, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I think people didn't really believe him or thought he was like not trying to play a basketball game. Like guys, it's freaking ice, like. You can't drive on ice. I don't care what you do. You can put salt
Right,
on it, you can put dirt. It's ice. Until
right.
that thing goes away, you can't drive on it. That's why in
Hmm.
Toronto, for him, we know, right? When a storm's coming, the guys are literally salting the road before the storm even comes. Like they
Hmm.
salt the road before the snow because they understand when it's ice, salt before, during, and after. That's the only
Right.
way. But
Hmm.
again, Portland is not Toronto, Canada, or in Canada, we understand the science of how to manage icy roads before it even becomes that. Clearly in Portland, they do not. So,
Right.
but at least they won the game, though. They won. So,
Yeah, without him. Good job. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Aiden. He's probably like where he lives. I have a feeling he doesn't have close neighbors. He's probably
yeah,
in up in a
exactly.
remote area of
Rich people,
Portland
them areas. Yep.
where he's like, help. All right.
Help me, please. And they're like, bruh. They're like, bruh.
All right, Nelly J. Let's put this episode in the books.
Y'all, that was the Good Rookie Show. So, guys, my shout out this week is actually to a coach I just kind of gave a stray to earlier. That's kind of not nice. But anyway, big up to him. Coach Darko, Faheem. So the Raptors coach Darko, him and his wife will be donating $20 to children's hospitals for every Raptors assist this season, which I think is a great initiative, especially for a sick kids, for children's hospital. Right now, Raptors have 1,302 assists. So his current donation total is $26,040. So big up to Coach Darko and his wife. Miss Darko. I call her Mrs. Darko. I think it's a great initiative. This will be at St. Jude's, and it's a Serbian children's hospital. So the hospital that will be getting the proceeds will be Sick Kids, St. Jude, and a Serbian children's hospital as well. So I think it's a great initiative. Shout out to him. Darko, he's a new coach, and Faheem, you know how we, like, our fans, we're on Darko for many things, but I think we also have to respect how he treats his players, how he has his players back, calling Scotty the face of the league, which is, hey, all for you. But also the fact that he's doing this, I think it shows the kind of man he is in terms of giving back to, his community. So big up to Coach Darko. That's my shout out.
Most definitely. Can't follow that. That was a great one.
Okay.
All right. Well, Nelly J, let's put this episode in the books.
Y'all, that was the Good Rookie Show. So y'all, if you had a good time, enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe and tell a friend. Faheem.
On all platforms, looking for us. You know what it is. That's the Good Rookie Show. Yeah.